Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I just want to do some timeline for you guys. I just want to show off my sick team and timeline, and I just want to fight, a variety of opponents at 79 points and have a lot of fun with a diversity of players, because this Marvel Future Fight game has, like 90 different characters, and they're all totally viable and fun to play with. So we'll definitely see a lot of variety at high levels and high ranks. So this team has Chirag. This team has Chirag. This team has Chirag. This team has Chirag as the leadership. Oh, true. This team doesn't have Chirag. Let's fight this team. So what I'm really trying to illustrate here, guys, with today's video is timeline battle needs to change a little bit. With the introduction of Chirag and with the kind of changes that we've seen coming with characters like Proxima and others, there's kind of been a shift. They also changed the way that the AI reacts to you and your abilities. The AI will run away more often when you do iframes, or the AI will also start with no skill cooldown, which is pretty fucked up. Now the no skill cooldown thing is easy to fix. They can put like a 1 second or a 2 second timer. If you guys don't know what I mean, characters that you fight will immediately jump into skills where in the beginning of the fight, whereas in the beginning of the fight your characters are on cooldown, so you do not have that same luxury. That was not so difficult, or that was not so much a problem before, when characters would hit you for a 10th or a 15th or a 20th of your HP with each hit. But when a character can kill you in one hit with one skill, there's really almost nothing you can do. That takes the gameplay out of the game mode, even when you're playing on manual. Basically, all you can do is switch to another character. That's your only option, which just feels kind of unfair and kind of lame. You can't even fight with the players or the characters you want to fight with because of the skill cooldown. But anyways, that aside, we have another Chirag team. Okay, we're back to the exact same team I just beat. Let's beat them again. And the Chirag thing is not actually the problem. I don't really care if I fight Chirag or not. I know how to kill her. It's not really my issue. I'm not here asking for restrictions or anything like that. People need to realize that I tried to go into my 5, but I didn't do it in time. People need to realize that restrictions are not going to help the game out. Restrictions on characters in game modes make the game unfun for new players, and that's exactly what you don't want in a game like this, because a game like this will die if there are not enough new players constantly coming into the game to keep the game fresh, to keep the player base active, engaging in things like alliance battle, world boss clears, battle world timeline. Like, all of these things require a constantly regenerating player base, because there will always be people that quit, and so you need to draw new people into the game. And you can't draw them into the game by saying, hey, there's this awesome character, but maybe 3 or 4 weeks from now when you're playing them and they're maxed out, we're going to restrict them from one of the game modes and you won't be able to play. So I really don't like restrictions. I'm really happy. Another Chirag. Okay, that's not a Chirag team, but fuck that shit. I'm really happy that they Chirag. I'm really happy that they did away with the restrictions for Battle World. I know that some people say it was because they couldn't make money. I don't think that was the reason. It just felt annoying with all the restrictions on the rank of your characters, and it felt bad to have to keep certain characters at a low rank just for Battle World. Building a character just for a game mode that isn't even active every single day, and that doesn't even give good rewards to begin with, is really stupid. That's not really the point of Battle World. If they restricted Alliance Battle the way that they restrict Battle World, no one would play Alliance Battle. People play it because it gives really good rewards, and you can play it every day. So even though the restrictions are harsher, it's made up for by the fact that the rewards are much greater. If Alliance Battle had the rewards of Battle World, with the restrictions that it has, people would just be like, fuck that shit, I don't want to play. Because it's annoying. And not everyone has, souped up speed characters or souped up combat characters to clear it with. And so it does give people something to build towards, and it is something that you can do. Okay, I'll fight this team. it is something that you can do in small doses, or it's something that you can do if you have a regular rotation. So if they did timeline differently, and I'm gonna give a couple of suggestions for what they can do, but there are some things that they can do to make. Oh fuck, I'm fucked. There are some things that they can do to make. I got so lucky with his passive proc. There are some things that they can do to make timeline more interesting. This guy's Thanos is such a bitch, though. My Thanos is dead. Yeah, fuck this guy, man. You're a cock. Fucking go die. Don't proc your shit again. Ah, fuck, I'm gonna die now. Shit, I gotta run like the wind. Oh, the devil is in this guy, man. Oh man, he's got Lucifer in him. No, Corvus, my dear Corvus. Corvus, please, Corvus. What are you doing, Corvus? Oh my, this is exactly what I'm trying to illustrate to you guys. This is just 6-star into another attack. He's literally, his skill cooldown is really low, but also the AI skill cooldown is super low. So he can just spam those attacks as much as he pleases. I'm trying not to die here, although it doesn't matter for the, yeah, Corvus is going to die and come back to life. That's why this is being all weird. It doesn't matter for, oh, autoplay was on the whole time. No fucking wonder. Wow, I'm actually an idiot. True, guys. So the first 6 minutes of this video have illustrated how stupid I am. That's great. I'm fucking happy with that. There's another Chirag. So here's a couple things that I've been thinking about that they can do for timeline battle. They can do a blind timeline battle, where basically you can queue up to an opponent at a certain level, certain power level, so they can still use the same point system, or they can change the system around or whatever. But basically, it's kind of like live battle world. You just queue in, and then you're gonna get paired with someone. That's gonna make people pretty salty because of all the Chirag, the tier 2 Chirags running around. But it will take away the gold sync that we have to go through when we're searching. And it will, I think, also take away from some of the saltiness, because people are just salty that they have to search through this bullshit all the time, like I'm doing right now. I actually spend less time battling and more time just looking for an opponent that isn't going to one-shot me, because, you know, the way Netmarble built the character is able to, you know, be invulnerable for 5 seconds and then immediately one-shot your whole team in 3 successive hits. If Chirag wasn't the way that she was, this would not be an issue. But with more, it's seeming like more characters are going to come out that way as well. This issue is only going to compound itself as the meta changes, and so I can't really blame people for adapting to the meta. You know, Chirag is hot, and Chirag is a very effective way of winning. So I implore people, like, yeah, sure, use Chirag. That's great. That's all good and well. The problem is that when you're facing an AI opponent, but it's not skill involved in them beating you, it's just the fact that they have their cooldowns faster than you and that the HP is so low, then it's really fucked up. At least if we had random opponents, it would feel a little bit less like the game is fucking, well, it would still feel like the game is fucking you, but it would feel less like, you know, other players are being cheap, because it's all blind anyways. But that's not really the best suggestion. A better suggestion that I honestly have is to just make the HP of timeline closer to the HP of Battle World. We do that because, as you guys can see, if you play Battle World, even against a tier 2 Chirag, I feel like I have a chance. I just need to get my ducks in a row, and I'll be safe, or I can do some things to protect myself. But in timeline, it feels like, because the HP is so low, one mistake, one misclick, 1 second longer on my skill cooldown, which apparently is how much I took off when I switched my cards, and I'm fucking toast. It's the difference between bread and toast. And you know, when you put bread in a toaster, it takes like what, a minute and a half if you got a shitty toaster. You know, so I don't want timeline to take a minute and a half each fight, but I also don't want it to take 7 seconds. You know, we're not trying to go for the Flash's world's fastest man. We're trying to get some healthy medium, and I think Battle World does that really well with the level of HP. If they want to crank up the power level of characters, which is what they're doing with tier 2s and Black Order and all that stuff, then they need to readjust timeline battle HP, or they need to put like a damage reduction modifier. So like a lot of games that have PvP components, like WoW, you know, Diablo, all that crap. The damage that you do in the regular game modes gets scaled down for PvP, and it just makes PvP more fun because it's more slow, and so it gives people a chance to strategize and counterattack and plan, basically. You know, if everything's over in the blink of an eye, it's just really not fun for anybody. Even though you win, it doesn't really feel satisfying to win because you just crush them in like one move. It feels better, kind of almost like a chess mask, a chess mask. Actually, if you're a fucking I don't know, strategy pervert, I guess you're a deviant. You're a strategy deviant. But it just I should have fought that team. Fuck. It feels better, and it's more. I feel more rewarded, and I feel better about my wins when I get them in live battle world than when I get them in timeline. And I'm being totally honest. Using the same like dirty garbage fucking Black Order characters, it feels totally different. Timeline just feels like a chore, and so they need to change it. And that's honestly the best suggestion I've come up with. I'm really curious what suggestions you guys have. I think the HP one is probably the best fix, coupled with like a 1 or 2 second cooldown for the AI. I like the other AI fixes. Like, I don't mind that they run away and stuff like that. That is basically how they would play if they were real, so I don't really mind that at all. But I think the skill cooldown thing just feels cheap. It doesn't feel interactive, and it should be changed to reflect the reality of timeline. And again, it's not about timeline being difficult. It's just how the game mode feels. If it feels cheap, if it feels unfun, that's not what Netmarble wants. That's not what we want. So, if we want change, then we got to suggest it ourselves, as I've said before. And so this is my attempt. Another thing you could do is kind of like Alliance Battle. You could have regular restrictions. So for this week in Timeline Battle, or maybe not the whole week, this day in Timeline Battle, we have this restriction. This day we have that restriction. It'll get kind of annoying, though, so I don't think it will work because people don't want to go and change their team every single day for Timeline. And it will overcomplicate things for new players, so it's not the greatest idea. They could just have a 1 character ban that people vote on, and you couldn't vote for the same character like consecutively for the week. Probably the same 7 characters would get voted in on 7 consecutive days. Like, it would be like Thanos, Proxima, Chirag, Corvus, Ebony, Supergiant, and I don't know if that's 7 because I haven't been counting, and fuck Black Dwarf. But that's another possibility. There are lots of things you can do with it. You can have like a mode where you start off with like kind of like a, not gauntlet style, but kind of like a ladder system. Not ladder system, kind of like climbing a ladder. All right, guys, I'm not fucking good with analogies. So basically, your first opponent is just queued up for however many points, and you fight them. And then when you beat them, then you can request a stronger opponent. And then you keep going up. And then when you lose, you start back down at the bottom. It doesn't really offer a gold sync, which is what the current timeline does offer for Netmarble. So that kind of does mess with the game design a little bit, because this game does need actually more gold syncs. It's a little bit too easy to accumulate gold these days. And as a controlled currency, it needs to be like monitored closely. So I don't really have an answer for how they would continue the gold sync. Maybe you just have to pay just to enter timeline. You have to pay like a larger lump sum for each like battle like set, and you could get up to 10 wins, and 10 wins in a row would get you like an extra bonus or extra like bonus tokens. You could do it kind of like Arena in Hearthstone, where you pay a certain amount. Yes, this team, you're back, I'm gonna fuck you. So you pay like a certain amount of gold, or maybe no, you don't pay crystals, that's fucked up. You pay a certain amount of gold, let's say, and then you get your entry. You can get up to 10 wins, but as soon as you lose, you like lose your run. Maybe you get like your courtesy of like at least 3 games played, or at least 5 games played, or whatever. And if you get 10 wins, you get like an additional like 100 or 500 bonus tokens, and that's how Netmarble could match up the honor tokens to the. How did I get knocked out of that? Can you fucking tell me this shit? Riddle me this, all right? Bring some fucking DC characters into this shit, because that was garbage. That was hot garbage. Anyways, yeah, and so then if you get 10 wins, you can get an extra amount of honor tokens, and that would match up the honor tokens that you can get in a day's playing to the Villain Siege tokens, because right now you can only get 750, I guess, honor tokens, but you can get 1,500 Villain Siege tokens per day, I think. My memory's a little bit fuzzy because I've been doing this for too long, but it's something like that. But anyways, the point is, given the way that the meta has shifted, and given the way that victories and defeats play out, I just feel like it's something that should be looked at a little bit more carefully by Netmarble, and I really encourage you guys and gals to voice your opinions and give me your thoughts, and you know, let your good ideas and maybe your bad ones be heard. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your best ranking in Vibranium was as well, if you want to do that. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.